Lindsay's license with the State Board of Veterinary Medical Examiners. It says she is still active to practice in Texas and has not been suspended, and so far she has faced no disciplinary action. So then I asked the vet board to see complaints against her. The board told me all her files are sealed. Tonight, I investigate why the system is so closed and why it's so hard for consumers to research complaints on vets in Texas.
This is the first day I got her.
Lowla was family.
She was really sweet. When we got her, the kids just fell in love with her.
Then Jenna Clark says Lowla got sick.
She just wouldn't eat anymore.
After a few emotional days,
it just kept getting worse.
Their precious Lowla died. The official cause of death was complications from parvo. Jenna had to break the news to her children.
They didn't take it too well.
Either did Jenna. As a concerned consumer, she wanted to know how vets are regulated in Texas, so she went to police.
They said that there's nothing they can do. They're sorry for my loss, and good luck.
Then she filed a complaint with the Texas State Board of Veterinary Medical Examiners. She was told the investigation would take 8 months.
Okay, what do you mean 8 months? Aren't you supposed to be here to help the animals?
8 months later, Jenna got a letter back from the vet board. It says, quote, 2 board members, who are both veterinarians, reviewed and evaluated your complaint. These board members could not substantiate any violation of the Veterinary Licensing Act or any of the rules of professional conduct.
I was pissed. I was like, okay, then who do I go to? Who's going to help me?
I filed several Freedom of Information Act requests asking to see the vets with the most complaints in Texas and to find out how consumers can get this information. I was told all those files are sealed and no one will be able to see them.
We are very much aware that people are very upset about these matters.
I sat down with the Director of Enforcement, the woman who wrote Jenna that letter, to ask her why all the complaints were closed and if the system, the way it's set up now, protects vets and not pets.
Our investigative files are not open. We live by out of the Occupations Code, we live by the Veterinary Licensing Act, and we just have to follow the laws and the rules that we have.
The Vet Board's Director of Enforcement, Karen Phillips, says the system is set up that way to protect vets from frivolous complaints that could hurt a vet's practice.
I think what some people would like is they would like to know exactly how many times has this veterinarian had a complaint. That is not available.
Phillips says if there are no formal or informal actions taken against the vet by the board, all complaints are sealed, even if a pet dies. Then I asked how many animals would have to die in a vet's care before you revoke a license.
There's not a hard number. I don't have the ability just to answer that question. It's a board decision.
Every case is reviewed by 2 veterinarians to determine if there is a malpractice violation. Do you shut down bad vets?
Yes. Revocation is unusual, but revocation does occur.
License revocation is very unusual. Through an open records request I discovered in the last 25 years, only 11 vets in the state of Texas had their license revoked.
I get calls from people and they have the expectation that, you know, we should be able to revoke a license with one standard of care violation, and that's just not how we're set up. That doesn't happen.
Another Open Records Act request revealed in fiscal year 2014 there were 542 complaints against veterinarians in Texas. Less than a third of the vets face some sort of discipline. But as a consumer, you will never get to see the complaints that receive no action.
I do get frustrated and very saddened when I hear people that walk away from the process thinking that there's a lack of empathy. There's not. It's just that in certain situations, we just have a lack of evidence.
Now, with Lowla's remains.
This is her collar that she was wearing when she died, and I've just kept it ever since.
Jenna vows to fight for Lowla's memory and more transparency in the system so one day everyone can access complaints at the vet board so consumers can make an informed decision about who takes care of their pet.
For the board, I have no respect for them whatsoever. I think they're worthless.
The vet board says the only way to get those complaints released is to change the law through the state legislature. But on KEYE-TV.com, I put up a link to a website that tracks all of the public data on vets if they have received a formal or informal board order. Again, that's the only public information the state vet board ever releases.
Now, your storm